Culture evolves at the speed of light, just like your financial needs. When it comes to your money, Credit Karma keeps you in the know and ahead of the game. You can count on Credit Karma to keep up with your financial needs as they evolve. We'll help you monitor your progress and give personalized recommendations so you can make strides towards your goals and find your way to money. Make sure you're on the right track, no matter where you are on your financial journey. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Hey everybody, and welcome to When Reality Hits with Jax and Brittany.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
So we are so excited that Jax can finally talk about something that he's been so excited to share, which is House of Villains.
House of Villains was officially, I guess, launched or talked about yesterday on social. Announced.
Yeah.
Sorry, the word announced. It's been a while since I've been on a TV show. Officially announced yesterday. It's going to be on October 12th on E! You know, what an amazing time that was. Definitely very interesting. I can't obviously get into too many details about it, but the things I can say are the cast was amazing for the most part. I'd say 95% of the cast was amazing.
So speaking of that, who was your favorite cast member? Because obviously the cast has been announced. Like, you can share that.
Yeah, there's certain things obviously that I can share about. Obviously, it's on E! Obviously, it's going to be coming out October 12th. And my favorite cast member, I don't think it's any secret. It's Johnny Bananas.
Yeah.
Him and I are very one and the same. We are pretty much the same person. We got along like we were like brothers on that show. We literally were attached to the hip. Had a great time, and you know, we obviously kept the relationship going on after the show. But yeah, he was definitely my favorite.
Okay, well then the opposite. Who was your least favorite cast member?
Well, you know, I got into a little tiff with a couple people. I don't want to get into it because obviously I don't want to give anything away. But my least favorite person would have to be not a good person. I always take people face value. I don't like to judge a book by its cover, but everybody was definitely right for sure.
Oh, drama. Okay, so going away and having to stay at a house away from me and Cruz, how did that make you feel? Like, how were you able to handle that?
It was tough. You know, in the beginning, obviously day one, you know, there was a lot going on. We're living in a house together. You know, there's no doors and you know, there's just cameras going all the time. But, yeah, we weren't allowed to have phones. We were given our phones, but we were given our phones between, like, 1 and 3 in the morning. That was it. So by the time I got my phone, my family was asleep. So I didn't really get to talk to anybody. Basically, they gave it to us because they all know that we are working and we all have things going on. So they basically let us check our emails. And, you know, basically the reason why they gave it to us between 1 and 3 is because they knew we wouldn't be in contact with anybody. We can only check our emails. So that was how that went. But, yeah, I missed you guys terribly. You left me well, I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, you can't get too much away because I know you'll get in trouble. But still, I know how it'd be hard to be away from me and Cruz.
It was very, very hard. You know, I talked about you guys a lot. You know, I had a lot of fun on there. There was definitely a lot of different personalities on that show. There was a lot of people that were legends on that show.
Even like more, New York.
Even more of a legend than me, believe it or not. You know, I get along really well with Omarosa, and I got along good with I mean, a lot of Johnny Fairplay. Really liked him a lot. He's really funny. We have a lot in common too. We're both very, very nostalgic. We had a lot in common with that, talking about the 80s and 90s all the time. There's always so much downtime on that show, so we got definitely in some deep conversations.
Well, I just remember before you went to the show, he had no idea who was going to be on the cast with him, and I kept saying, I bet you New York is going to be on there, remember?
Yeah.
Before you went. And then, of course, you texted me like the first night, New York is here. And I was like, yes. I always loved Tiffany, a.k.a. New York, from like Flavor of Love and I Love New York. I just always thought she was such a hoot, like so funny.
and didn't you like Anfisa, too? Didn't you like her? Or no? From 90 Day Fiancé?
Oh, no, remember. Well, we love 90 Day Fiancé, but like, I can't remember if we really liked her or not. I think that we thought she was mean to her boyfriend, or maybe he was mean to her. I can't really remember, but we love 90 Day Fiancé either way. So
love the
we were
show.
Probably a fan no matter what.
You'll definitely get a different vibe from her there for sure. Yeah, that was interesting. Like I said, I want to talk about it so much. I can't wait till this airs because there's just so much to say, and I'm really excited because next week I'm trying to get Johnny Bananas on our show.
Yeah.
And he is in Florida right now opening his new gym, which he'll be talking about next week. But yeah, I'm going to have him on next week, and hopefully we can talk about it a little bit more.
Awesome. Okay, so I have a question from a fan for you, Jax, from Eliza25. Thoughts on Schwartz's hair?
I have a lot of Schwartz. I have a lot of comments on Schwartz's hair. Obviously, he's my friend, so I can kind of give him a hard time about it. But we do have a boys group chat where we all kind of we talk. We've had this group chat actually since we started it actually for Tom and Katie's wedding. So that's how old this group chat is. So we definitely all gave our comments. Gosh, the memes about his hair are absolutely hilarious. There are so many memes about it. I don't know what he was thinking.
Ken, like Barbie and Ken came out. Everybody's going the blonde route right now.
Yeah, but some people shouldn't go blonde. Some people should not.
Well, I'm thinking of whenever you guys all try to dress up as girls for his remember whenever you guys did that
for Katie's bachelorette party.
Yeah, Schwartz's.
Did they have joint bachelorette party? Yeah.
And you guys all dressed up, and like Schwartz had the blonde wig, and I knew then like blonde was not his color.
Well,
so.
Tom is very fair. Tom is very fair skinned, and Tom's from Florida, and he literally, I don't know if a lot of you have ever seen the memes out there. Florida man. Tom screams Florida man. He looks like a Florida guy who drives a Honda Civic. Who may or may not be a drug dealer or on drugs. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I gave him a hard time. I'm like, Tom, please change your hair back. This does not look good. I don't know who's done that to you. I don't know if you're going through a midlife crisis. All I remember, I didn't even know. I think your mom pointed out to me when I woke up. She's like, did Tom Schwartz dye his hair? Is he okay? So, that's my thoughts. I don't like it. I hope he changes it back. There's a really funny meme out there that I've been kind of sending to my friends. It's a picture of Tom Sandoval and a picture of Tom Schwartz with blonde hair, and Tom Sandoval had that skunk hair going on when he had like the highlights of the white.
Oh yeah.
And then on the above it says "Pick your poison," and it's just it's really really funny. But I love Tom. Everybody knows I love Tom Schwartz. I love to give him a hard time. He deserves me to bust his balls about this one. I'm sorry. It looks awful. He needs to turn it back. I think he did turn it back actually. I think this was happening a couple days ago, so I think he did.
Yeah, but still, it's like the whole Barbie and Ken thing going on right now. All the guys are trying to go blonde. So
oh my gosh, everybody! How many Barbie costumes are going to be this year?
Everybody's going to be Barbie or everybody's going to be Ken. It's going to be a whole thing.
There's a lot of people though that should not be dressing up as Barbie and Ken. Not to be mean, but I just think there's a lot of people that should stay away from that costume.
But okay, so here's another question from Regina_on Gokos. She says, what other reality competition shows would either of you be interested in joining?
It's so funny that you mentioned this because Brittany and I, well, thanks to Sherry, Brittany and I, we make it well known that we really don't watch a lot of reality TV shows. We have our favorites, like we said before, 90 Day Fiancé, which we really, really enjoy. But Sherry's been here, and she's got us locked in on Love Island. Between Sherry and Ariana being on there, we kind of got stuck on it. We wanted to watch her and see how she did. By the way, she nailed it. She did a great job. But we've been watching Love Island, and we got stuck into that, and then all of a sudden we took a turn and went into Temptation Island, and now we're on a new show called
The Big D.
The Big D. I don't know what happened because this is so anti-Brittany and I. We don't watch reality shows like this. We don't. We don't despise them. We just don't like watching them.
It's like they all flew into each other.
They all flew into each other because Love Island is on every day, so we watch that religiously because we have Sherry kind of gives us the rundown on Love Island.
We love Bergie, by the way.
Yeah, we're big fans of Bergie. I told that to Ariana the other day. I'm like, big fan of Bergie. I love him. She's like, I love Bergie too. Anyway, so we watched that, and then when that show's over, we kind of just fell into Temptation Island, which that show has been on for a very, very, very long time. I remember coming home from high school and Temptation being on. So that show has been on forever, and I don't know. I'm really obsessed with. I think I like Temptation Island a little bit more. I think this is the reason why. And I don't mean to talk over you. Sorry, I have a lot to say about this. Temptation Island just seems it's a little bit more our age group, and I think, I think it's just a little bit easier for me to. understand.
Relate, yeah.
Yeah, relate, because they're a little bit older. They're in relationships, and they're trying to figure out if they're going to stay in there with their couple or not. The Love Island is more kids in their 20s.
Yeah.
They're just having fun, and God, they all look so good, by the way. Every one of them, they barely wear anything on that show, and everybody's looks just amazing, guys and girls.
You cracked me out, Jax, because you were like, they're not really trying to hide the mics on that show, are they?
No, and like most
their mics
reality,
are just hanging out everywhere.
Oh yeah, their mics are just hanging out. They wear them in a waistband, and it's like one of the things I remember starting on Vanderpump Rules is we always hid our mics. We always had to make sure they were hidden, and it was like every show I've been on, they've hidden their mics. Even on House of Villains, we never show our mics. So we're just watching that. They just wear them on the outside of their clothes.
Or like wear the big necklaces. With
yeah. Which, you know what though? What are they supposed to do? These girls wear practically
bikinis.
nothing. I mean, those aren't even bikinis. I mean, they're
thongs.
They're thongs.
Yeah.
Full on thongs. These girls are just walking out.
There's nowhere to put a mic.
The guys are all just chiseled beyond belief. But then I'm like, you know what? These guys are 25 years old. I remember what I looked like when I was 25 years old too. And yeah, so I mean, they're just sitting around drinking, having fun. It's like I said, it's a lot of fun to watch that show. It's the only thing that would bother me about that show is, and which, by the way, this happened on House of Villains as well, are the lights are always on. So when you go to bed, they don't turn the lights off.
Oh, I cannot stand that.
They don't turn the lights off. So I've never been on a show where the cameras have ran 24/7. There's cameras 24/7.
Can you imagine waking up in the morning with a brand new person and like having to like do your whole morning routine, like brush your teeth, just like wake up like feeling like I'm not a morning person. We know this.
I'm very, very aware
like,
that you're not a morning person.
I'm not a morning person, so waking up and like having to deal with like all those people 24/7, I can only imagine.
It was crazy. Like I said, I can't get into too much, but you'll see. It was definitely like, I mean, I wish I could say more, but it was just, I can tell you that the cameras do not stop.
Okay, so the question was, what other reality competition show would either of you be interested in joining? I need that answer.
What do you think? Temptation Island? I would never do that because I'm not going to put my relationship,
we would kill each other if we went on Temptation Island.
Yeah, I would always be worried. I would
like to be a host.
I would love to host it. I think
being a host would be so fun.
Yeah.
I think maybe like something like Traitors, like the murder mystery like stuff. I think that would be fun. Something like that.
I think, from what I'm not mistaken, I think you were up for that, but things kind of got in the way with scheduling. So hopefully next season you can do it.
I think it would be so fun to do like a murder mystery game.
And I also think that show's up for an Emmy, by the way.
Oh, really?
Have you watched it, Traitors?
No, but I just know that I love murder mystery.
Yeah,
and
you
I
would
love to do it because I feel like I should be a detective in my second life.
Yeah, Brittany's she's obsessed with like those games like Clue and like what do you call the houses that we go to?
Escape rooms.
She figures all that stuff out. She's really into all that stuff. Me, I lose my patience after like 2 minutes.
Or like Nailed It. Like I love like cooking shows, like funny like baking shows. Like Nailed It would be fun.
Yes.
Or and I love Nicole, the host. Like I think that would be like so much fun.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I think we have a good time. We love our cooking shows, especially around the holidays.
Nicole is the host of Nailed It, and she's so funny, and like I just think it would be such a fun time.
She is hilarious. I remember her from
Jacques.
Yes, Jacques. She was on that show, I think, with John Cena, Wipeout or something. I think she was on that first, and then she became on the show. Yeah, she's hilarious.
Yeah,
she's really, really
such
funny.
a good host. So I think that something like that would be so much fun. I would absolutely love to do something like that.
Definitely host. I'm definitely hitting on my manager lately about, can we host some things? I think we would be really, really good at the hosting thing.
It would be fun.
Especially as a pair.
All right, guys, have you heard of Article? It is amazing. We love Article furniture. They have so much to offer on their website. Make sure you check them out. We ordered patio furniture from there. You can get throw blankets, pillows, decor. I love home decor, so it's absolutely perfect. Article believes in delightful design for every home, and thanks to their online only model, they have some really delightful prices too.
I love the fact that if you have a mid-century home, a modern home, a coastal, industrial, Scandi, boho, whatever your style is, they have something for you. Article's team of designers are all about finding the perfect balance between style, quality, and price. They're dedicated to thoughtful craftsmanship that stands the test of time and looks good doing it. Article offers fast, affordable shipping shipping across the U.S. and Canada. Plus, they won't have you waiting around. You pick the delivery time, they'll send you the updates every step of the way.
Article's knowledgeable customer care team is there when you need them to make sure your experience is smooth and stress-free. Their customer service is amazing. They call you to make sure you're ready. They set everything up for you. Absolutely amazing, nice people.
As the guy that was actually accepting this, they did call me right away. You know how it is when you ship something and then like they don't show up and you have to wait there and you're like, okay, we'll come between 12 and 5. They actually call you and say, hey, we're 5 minutes away, which was just really awesome.
Yeah, they're great. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/realityhits and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/realityhits for $50 off your purchase of $100 or more. What's for dinner? If that question stresses you out, listen up.
Oh, brother, it stresses me out.
Hungry Root will fill your fridge with healthy food and simple recipes so you can fill your schedule with stuff you enjoy doing more.
Just take a fun short quiz and Hungry Root will get to know you, your goals, and how you like to eat. You'll get to pick your fresh produce, high-quality meat and seafood, pantry staples, healthy snacks, and sweets, and much, much more.
Hungry Root has amazing stuff. I love keeping my pantry full and having snacks for my baby. Hungry Root is amazing.
Yeah, now that Cruz can get in that pantry, our food is going like crazy.
Oh, yeah. He's growing up and eating more. Hungry Root goes beyond your weekly grocery haul with thousands of easy recipes that actually put your groceries to good use before they get forgotten in the back of your fridge.
The best part is everything that Hungry Root offers follows a simple standard. It's got to taste good, be quick to make, and contain whole, trusted ingredients.
Right now, Hungry Root is offering our listeners 30% off your first delivery and free veggies for life.
Wait, free veggies for life? You know
That's
how much?
right.
Wow.
Just go to hungryroot.com/reality to get 30% off your first delivery and to get your free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/reality. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you.
Free veggies for life.
That's awesome. Support for today's episode comes from Jenny Kane. Does your wardrobe need a summertime refresh? Jenny Kane is here to help you live your best summer yet. From flowy dresses and lightweight cotton cardigans to elevated versions of your everyday basics, not to mention the most incredible home essentials too. Right now, get 15% off your first order at jennykane.com and use the code REALITY to get 15% off. I love everything I've ever gotten from Jenny Kane. Absolutely amazing quality, great clothes. You will love them so much. Everything I got is so beautiful. You will be obsessed with the Cove dress and road dress for summer occasions, and their new day dress is quickly becoming a pretty hot item too. And for those windy beach day sunsets, the Chloe cardigan and the cotton fisherman sweater are a must. They also have a stunning collection of home essentials, timeless furniture pieces, cozy throws, perfectly curated decor, and the most incredible candles. I love me some candles. Plus, they have an incredible rewards program where you can earn up to 10% back with every purchase, and joining is completely free. Find your forever pieces at jennykane.com. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code REALITY. That's 15% off your first order. jennykane.com. JENNIKAYNE.com. Promo code REALITY. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about. Of course, we have to address the elephant in the room for like a second because I don't want to put too much onto this, but like this is a question that I've gotten so many times. This one is from Sheens517. Thoughts on Raquel interview with Bethenny? She took no accountability.
Who took no accountability? I only listened to part of it because
that was the question. Thoughts on Raquel's interview with Bethenny? She took no accountability.
First of all, I think Bethany's obviously doing for the clicks. She obviously doesn't care, I don't think, anything about Raquel. She's doing this because she sees like, oh, here's an opening. I can have her on, so I'm going to get a lot of hits, which, that's part of podcasting. Second of all, I heard a little bit of this Raquel thing, and I was just like, this is terrible. Like, she's just blaming it like, oh, my gosh, we're on reality. No one put a gun on your head to be on reality TV. Nobody. And I think, you know what, I can see that the fact that she's going to get help, you know what, bravo to her. That's great. But, I hear things and I see things that she does, and then she goes ahead and says, okay, I'm getting help, but then she laughs about it. I just have a hard time believing it. And I really don't have much to say. I don't know this person. I just know of what I see her on TV. And I just found it still very, very hard to believe her when she broke down on camera and then would go in the green room with Tom and laugh about it. So I don't know if she's telling the truth. I don't know. I can't tell if this is real. I can't tell if this is fake. I can't tell if this is just for clicks. I can't tell if she just got paid some cash to do Bethenny's thing. I think it's a little bit of all that, to be honest, but I don't really know, so I can't really judge, but it's just really exhausting to listen to. That's why I turned it off.
I think the part about acting like she wasn't very close with Ariana was like the hardest for me because they obviously were very close friends, even off camera for a long time. So I think that was the part that was like hard, but I didn't really listen to the whole thing. And I just think like putting too much energy into that anymore is like, I don't know. It's a little bit much.
We've beaten this horse to death so many times, and I just
know a lot
am
of
so tired
people
of
want
talking
to know
about it.
about it and are asking us about it, so that's why I feel like I had to address it. But like I know Bethenny is like a billionaire at this point, and
what does she care what Rachel says?
And
to be honest.
Raquel, like I want the best for her. I do want her to like heal and like have growth and everything. But I don't know. People just need to like take accountability, grow up, and move on.
That's the thing. That's the end of the day. Listen, I don't know. I didn't listen to the whole podcast, but I just, just say, listen, I screwed up. I made some mistakes. I'm getting help. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Like the dissecting it and kind of putting blame on partial things. Well, I blame this partially and I blame this partially. And well, now I don't have this. Just say, you know what? I was on a reality show. I got blinded by the light, just like the song. I made some mistakes. I screwed up. I'm getting help. That's all I can say. And that's the best you can wish for anybody. But the part where she just dissects things and then puts partial blame on certain things, that's not growing up to me. That's not just owning it and saying, you know what, I effed up.
Yeah, I will say there's a lot of things I agree with and a lot of things I don't agree with, and we'll just leave it at that.
I mean, I've messed up plenty of times. But one thing that I can say about myself is, you know what, I can apologize and I can say, you know what, this is where I screwed up. This is where I need work. And, I think that's the best you can do. We're all human. We all make mistakes.
Of course. And just grow and let's move on. So, okay, here is a question from Julia JK 1-2, and it says, what's you and Jax's biggest pet peeve of each other?
How much time do we have left in this podcast?
Excuse me.
I'm just kidding. I don't have that much of a pet peeve. I guess.
What's your biggest pet peeve that I do? Be honest. Tell me.
You're not a morning person.
Not at all.
You can be very mean to me. You can be very mean. A lot of people don't see that.
Oh, gosh, mean. Just more like standing up for myself and being irritated.
As you should. And that goes along with being married. And like at the end of the day, listen, this is not the 90s where the men go off to work and they come home. This is a different world we live in where a lot of men nowadays are home all the time. They work from home, so they're with their significant others a lot more. Brittany and I have a very fortunate, blessed relationship to where, it can be blessed and it cannot be blessed. There's times she wants to kill me and I want to kill her. But, we work together. We play together. We raise our child together. We're starting businesses together. We literally are together 24/7 to the where, you are going to drive each other crazy. It's going to happen. So I think, sometimes we get on each other's nerves. I wouldn't say there's one particular thing that annoys me about you. I think sometimes we just drive each other crazy and that's part of marriage. And, there's times where we're like, man, marriage is tough and life is tough. And it really, really is. I mean, we've been married now for 4 years, together for 8. And I think, things can be tough at times. And I think that's when you really have to really work at it. And that's when you have to really, your marriage is put to a test and you have to really, really work. And you both really have to work at it. And I think it takes two, and you got to have to sit down and be honest with each other like we have. And that's pretty much it.
Well, dang, I thought you were going to say like whenever I snap my fingers in my sleep or something like that like went like away from me. I'm like, whoa. Well, I was like prepared to say you snore, you fart a lot. Like,
no, I was taking it for a more like an adult aspect, because of course we have little things that irk us. Like I leave the cupboard doors open, or I don't put the milk back, or something little like that. But that irks everybody. But I think, like I said, when you're married, and I think I'm just trying to reach out to the people that are maybe going through a tough time in their marriage and they're not used to being with their significant other so much that, it is work. It is work, marriage, and it can be tough at times. But as long as you guys are close and you talk it out and you're honest and you make time for each other, that's where I think it will excel.
Exactly. I agree 1000%, which leads me into another question. And that is from Maddie G. Shores. Intimacy with a kid, ?
Well, it's funny you say that because we are actually kind of going through that right now. Let's be honest. We're very honest on this podcast.
Yes.
And that's the kind of thing that Brittany and I are kind of, I don't want to say struggling with, but we have a 2-year-old and, we are starting a few businesses. I'm back on TV again. There's a lot of things going on. Obviously, we went from COVID to doing absolutely nothing to now we're doing so many things. And I'm trying to juggle a bunch of different things. Brittany's trying to juggle a bunch of things. We're trying to raise a child. I got my mother-in-law in town. We have dogs. We have a child. And it's just, there's a lot. Life is really, really hard. It's hard. And I think, Brittany and I actually had this conversation the other day that we just really need to don't forget about us. We need to kind of rekindle things a little bit. Maybe sometimes, I think maybe sometimes we need to put each other first. I think maybe we need to step up our date night game a little bit. I think a little bit. I need to initiate more for sure. I feel like I've been slacking in the initiation part. I feel like, and it's like I said, I'm 100% aware of that. I'm 100% aware that I've been just really focused on like trying to get this bar going and trying to get something successful going because like I said, COVID really, really put me in a dark place and it put me
which I'm sure a lot of people agree with and understand because so many people lost their jobs and there's a lot of people who went through exactly those same exact emotions. So I know that it will a lot of people will be like, oh, you know what? I went through that too. And they'll realize what we're talking about. So that's why it's so good to share.
Luckily we're very fortunate enough that me and Brittany still got to work through COVID, but it took a huge part of our savings. So now we are kind of working a lot, but now we're making up and putting back into our bank accounts what we went through. That being said, COVID was a really tough time for me. And I didn't even realize it was a tough time until I got out of COVID, until I started going out into the real world, such as going to the grocery store, going to the bar with my friends. And I don't know, a lot of people obviously don't know me, but I'm a very social person. I can go to a bar and I can meet the whole bar in 5 minutes and be friends with everybody. That's just who I am. I'm just a very social animal. So now when I got back out of COVID and I started going out, I started like almost being an introvert. I was almost shying away from this. And I'm like, who is this person? And I was getting anxiety and I was taking it out on my wife. And I was frustrated because I wasn't the normal Jax that I'm used to being. So I don't know where I was going with this conversation, but getting back to the intimacy part, I think, not blaming it on COVID, but I just think, I just need to find the old Jax again. And having a kid is difficult. I would not change it for the world. In fact, Brittany and I are talking about having more kids.
Yeah.
But we just need to find time for each other.
Yeah.
The intimacy part is definitely took a little bit of a back seat, but we're working on it.
Yes, we're definitely working on that. We want to have a lot more date nights. And also, not going to lie, Cruz, I don't really like him not to sleep in the room with us at night. So we're trying to work on that a little bit, trying to get him in his own room. Last night, for instance.
Oh, my gosh.
Are
we going to talk about this?
It was so cute. So we had to talk about it. Okay. So Jackson, Cruz, me and Mom were hanging out because my mom is in town. So me and Mom are hanging out. Jax took Cruz to the park. So whenever the sun set, he brought him home. It was 8:30. Cruz was asleep. So Jax put him in his crib in his bedroom. For the night. So we left his bedroom door cracked. We left on the patio lights so that just in case he woke up, he could see through the hallway. We left our bedroom door cracked. And we're just laying in bed and we have a camera on him, of course. So I hear Cruz starting to move around and make sounds. It wakes me up and I'm like, okay, Jax. I'm wake Jax up. I'm like, hey, Cruz is waking up. So we just watch Cruz crawl out of his crib, over the top, do some Spider-Man shit. Complete little Spider-Man moves, going down, crawling around. I'm like, okay, act like you're asleep. And he just walks all the way into our room and crawls on the bed with us. The cutest little thing ever. We loved it.
I honestly was it was almost like another chapter in our lives, another phase in our lives. It's I feel like now after last night, it's so funny that we talked about this because last night was the first night that we said, okay, we're gonna, not the first night, we've done it a couple 2 or 3 other times, but the first night we just let him sleep in his bed and we'll say, let's see what happens. And the fact that he just got out of his own bed and came into our bed with his little teddy bear and came and snuggled next to us
with a big smile on his face.
It was just the cutest thing in the world to me.
It was so cute.
I was like, he's getting older. He's crawling out of his bed to come and cuddle with his mom and dad. I just thought, and I was like, of course I want him to stay in bed all night. Of course I do. But I was just like, oh my God, this is the next phase of our of parenthood. He's coming to cuddle with us. And I was like, it was like, I told my friends today, I was with my buddies today. I'm like, you guys will never get this. And I told my buddy who's about to have a baby, and like, these are the little things that you're going to love. And I know it doesn't seem a lot to when you tell it to your friend, but having my son crawl out of his bed and then come to crawling in with me, I was like, I'm getting emotional right now just talking about it.
Yeah.
Because it was such a cool experience.
And I know a lot of people listening are probably like, ew, oh my God, your baby still sleeps in the bed with you. Yes. Guess what? Yes. He still sleeps in our bedroom, and that is okay. Parenting is different in so many ways. There is no correct way to parent. It's going to be different from every single person you talk to, and you're going to figure it out on your own. Don't listen to other people. Don't let other people shame you. Mom guilt is a real thing, and I think that we just need to like take it as it comes and like just be the best people and the best parents that we can be. Because I'm so sick of people commenting and hating on other people's parenting skills and things like that. Like, we love our kid more than anything in the world. And I think him wanting to come and sleep in the bed with us in the middle of the night, I don't even care. I love it. It was just super cute that Cruz came into the room. We like absolutely loved that. We've been through a lot of weird things with our stalker and stuff. So I think that was like a big deal of why we didn't want to have Cruz in his own bedroom. And I know a lot of people aren't going to understand that, but it was like terrifying. And I just you know, as a mama,
I don't know if a lot of people know this or not. Just a little back history there. We had a stalker for a long time. So Brittany and I were kind of just a little worried about having our child in a bedroom by himself, even though he's on the second floor and the doors are locked.
We have an alarm.
We have an alarm. We kind of had a little bit of nervousness, but we're starting to let go a little bit.
Yeah. And of course, this goes back to the intimacy thing. You know, we just if we're going to make baby number 2, we can't have Cruz in the room 24/7. Yeah. If he wants to come into the room later on, then good. We love it. Okay, here's another. This is a little bit of a change up, but something that we should talk about for sure. This is from Yasmin Alexis, and she asked, "Does Jack still greet his dad, and how do you help him with it as his wife?" And then she said, "I love you guys."
Such a great question. Such an emotional question. I absolutely do agree with my dad. I go through ups and downs with it. There's times where it hits me. There's times I just went to a cancer event a few days ago, and it really hit me hard.
The match gala
with our dear friend Jared, who found his match there, which was really exciting. But there's times where it hits me. There's times where, like, especially when I look at my son, especially when, everything is we're just so blessed. I have a beautiful home. I have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful child. And it's just, I just wish sometimes that my father could see this. I know he could see this from heaven. I know he can. But I just sometimes wish that he was here. I'm so jealous of Brittany's mother that gets to be here and see all this and take, and embrace all this. And it just sucks that my dad can't. And, I know I'll see him again one day, but yeah, I do. Just to answer your question, I do go through moments. It's sometimes when I'm by myself, and sometimes I love allowing myself to think about my dad. There's times where I just want to have a good cry. And I know you look at me, you're like, "Oh, Jax, you guys don't cry." You do. Like, sometimes I just want to sit, like, I'll go out in my backyard and I'll grab my dad's ashes and I'll just sit and have a good cry. And I'm about to cry right now. I feel like I'm just thinking about it right now. But yes, I do. And I feel like it's okay to embrace, our relatives that have passed on. So thank you for that question. I really like that question. I'm glad somebody asked that. But yes, I think about my father a lot, especially right now because there's so much going on in my life. And I just hope that he's so proud of me.
He's definitely so proud of you, especially how amazing of a father that you are. And I think that as a wife, like in the second part of the question, how do you help him as a wife? I think just like letting him have his time to mourn him and, let him know how proud his father would be of him, and to see how he is with Cruz, I think is just a reflection of how good of a father that he had. So I think that's very important. And, I'm so glad that I got to meet him as well before he passed, because I think how many years was I with you before? 5. Yeah.
Oh, no, you met my dad. No, you've been the whole 8 years. You met my dad. The beginning.
No, I know. I'm saying about I knew him for 3 years before he passed away.
3. Yes,
3. Yeah. Wish it was longer, of course, but I'm so glad I got to meet him. He's an amazing person, and I know he'd be so proud of you, Jax.
Thank you so much for that question, by the way.
Yeah. When Reality Hits is sponsored by Care of, the subscription service that ships high-quality, personalized vitamins, supplements, and powders conveniently to your door every month.
We've been super busy lately. We are parents and we've had millions of projects going on, and that makes it hard to develop daily habits and routines.
Luckily, with Care of, you get the tools and motivation that makes it easy to build and stick with a routine as you move from the summer into fall. Right now, for 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code RealityHits50.
Care of can help you find where to start your wellness journey using the online quiz. Just answer a few questions about your lifestyle and health goals.
Oh yeah, the quiz helps you so much. Sometimes you don't know exactly what you need, but the Care of quiz helps you get all the vitamins that you need for what is going on with you in your life right now. When I was pregnant, I took the quiz. Whenever I was doing like prenatal vitamins and stuff like that, I took the quiz. Like, it gets everything for you figured out without you having to stress about it yourself. It's absolutely amazing.
Their quiz can be retaken at any time to give you updated recommendations, and you can also adjust your habits and routine tracking in the app.
Care of makes taking your vitamins on the go so convenient with individual daily packs that are perfect for travel. Plus, Care of daily vitamin packs are made with plant-based composable film. Again, for 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code RealityHits50.
50% off, guys.
Get all the vitamins you need.
When Reality Hits is brought to you by Sheath Underwear. Right now, stop what you're doing, pull over off the road, call out of work, tell your friends that you're busy tonight, go to Google and look up Sheath Underwear. You will be captivated. They look amazing. They feel amazing. That's absolutely true. They are amazing, and you need to experience them because you deserve to feel amazing. Now, these underwear, guys, are absolutely amazing. They're super soft. If you're like me that works out at least 3 to 4 times a week, you run, you're active, whatever, they're just super, super comfortable. They have pouches for all of our man parts, and they just feel incredible. There are so many different types of underwear out there, but I feel like these underwear are the best for the active guy. Their stretchy fabric is super soft. It keeps everything cool. It's comfortable, and everything is in the right place. Sheath is useful for staying cool if you're working out or in a hot environment, like I said, but it also keeps you warm, comfortable, and dry in cold environments as well. After trying Sheath, you can never go back to those other old blends. That's the truth. I used to use other kinds of underwear until I tried Sheath. Now I threw away all my old ones. I truly love the dual pouches. They keep your man parts separated. It's a game changer, especially if you're working out. Sheath uses materials like bamboo and mesh for even more cooling comfort. We're all sure they'll be the most comfortable underwear you'll ever put on your body. Guys, that's without a doubt. They're the best. They really are. Give them a try. You'll absolutely love them. Sheath also has bamboo shirts and hoodies, all designed for maximum comfort. Try out their hoodies, guys. You'll absolutely love them. I use them all the time when I play golf. Go to sheathunderwear.com now and use the promo code REALITY to receive 20% off today. That's sheathunderwear.com today and use the promo code REALITY for 20% off. Have a good day, guys, and you'll love these underwear. Give them a try.
She talks about etiquette.
Get your fingers out of your mouth.
She talks about where to find a deal.
You know, if you sell me something on Instagram, I buy it. Whoever markets to me does a fabulous job.
She talks about the economy.
We used to joke that'll be the thing to send them to therapy. Okay, we're creating jobs. Can we look at it that way?
She talks about parenting.
These kids want to come home. They don't want to leave. They don't want to drive. They want to stay in the womb.
Let's Talk with Heather Dubrow every Thursday on PodcastOne or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, here's another question to Neil_Gonzalez. Are you worried about Jax returning to TV? Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, this is for you, question? Is this question for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Brittany,
really for me.
Are you worried about your loving husband who has changed for the better returning to the big screen?
No, I think that you are meant to be on TV, and I think that you've always been such a huge character. The only thing I worry about is if you get in your head a little bit, and I just don't want it to come across on our relationship. But other than that, I think that you are meant for this, and you will shine. And I feel like whenever you weren't on TV and you weren't doing, Vanderpump Rules and different types of things, I think that you really were down, whether you wanted to admit it or not. So I think that
I was down for what?
You were down, a little bit down, during COVID. And I think there was a time that we you definitely went through.
Yeah. I went through ups and downs with it.
Yeah.
There was times where I was like, okay, I'm done with, I don't want to be on the
Yeah.
show anymore. Then there's times like, did I make the right choice? I'm not going to lie to you. I missed being on TV. Like
Yeah.
Brittany said, there's not very many things in this life that I'm good at, but I feel like I'm really good TV.
You are.
And I have fun with it. Obviously being on Vanderpump Rules was absolute blessing. The big people at Bravo were so kind to me. The people at NBC are so kind to me. Everybody through the TV world, even though when I wasn't off in it, were always checking in on me. I still get, messages from everybody, all the executives at NBC, including Andy. How you doing? You're still the best on TV. You're still the number one villain to me. And it was just nice. And it's just so nice to finally start to get back into the entertainment world again, because I'm just so glad that a lot of the fans have missed me. A lot of people that reached out and said, we miss you on TV. You're great TV. They also want to see where I am now, where Brittany is now, where our family is now, because we left the show right after our wedding, and it's been many years. We now have a child. We now have a home. We now have life to live now.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to go back. And I'm looking at the world a lot differently now. I'm obviously not the same Jax. I know people are like, oh, you're always the same. That devil on my shoulder will always be there. It'll always be there. But that angel over there just speaks a lot louder. And I love making, the right choices and doing the right thing. And I just feel so much better about myself. And, I feel like that old guy is gone. He's gone, and he's definitely not missed. Maybe by some of you fans out there missed that crazy Jax, because I'm not going to lie.
Not me.
Not you. No, I was a steam locomotive on a runaway train. I was a steam locomotive. I was a runaway train for many seasons, and to be honest, I thought. And I don't mean to digress here a little bit, but I just thought that's what the people wanted. I thought, the more I do crazy shit, the more I'm going to be liked, and the more, I felt like a little bit of job security. I kind of felt like maybe this is what I'm supposed to be. And I kind of lost who I was as a person, because my mother and my father did not raise that human being. So to be honest, right before I met Brittany, that was a different human being. I definitely
a little bit when you were with me.
Even a little bit where I was with you. I know. It's like the song, you get blinded by the light. You start these shows and you get all this fame and you get everything handed to you, and you're making tons of money, and you just don't really care. And you go through this diva mentality where it's like, and I went through it even with the sunglasses thing. And I hate bringing that up because it was so embarrassing.
The sunglasses.
But I had a little bit of a diva mentality. I'm like, I'm Jax Taylor. I don't need to pay for things. I don't need to do this. And I feel
awful.
It was awful. And it was like, I needed that to happen for me to be like, okay, this is like, you need to check yourself.
Yeah.
You're not bigger than anybody. And I feel like I'm kind of going into where Tom Sandoval is. I feel like maybe he had his moment where he was like, I'm Tom Sandoval. I can cheat on whoever I want to cheat with. I can do whatever I want. And I feel like he's had his moment, and he's kind of needed this to, figure out who he is, kind of bring it back to real life. So I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Yes, getting in trouble sucks, and acting like that, I'm embarrassed, but I feel like I needed to go through that to be the person that I am today.
Yeah. And I think that you've grown up so much, and of course, the question, do you fear Jax being back on TV? No, not really. He's an amazing husband, amazing father. And I think that, people are just going to see how much you love your family and how much you love your son. And I think that's going to show so much growth in you. And I'm excited for people to see that.
And I hope people like me now, again, even though I'm not the crazy old Jax anymore.
You're still Jax no matter what, honey.
I still do the things that I still do crazy things. I just don't hurt people anymore. I don't make dumb decisions. I still shoot first, ask later. I'm still doing that kind of stuff. But, as far as hurting my family or hurting others or being malicious, that's just not in me anymore. And I've had a good time so far on the House of Villains. I've had a good time. So we'll see what's next. I'm excited for the future. I got a lot of things happening. Brittany's got a lot of things happening. So we're just being positive, and we're just happy to be where we are.
Yeah,
we're happy to
for
be where
sure.
we are. Because like I said, it was a long crawl from COVID. It really was.
Oh yeah.
It was we were at the bottom of the barrel, and just like the whole world was. We were all at the bottom, all of us together. People were losing jobs. People were depressed. We couldn't leave the house. We just felt like we lost everything. There was moments where do we stay in California? Do we have enough money? Are we going to be okay? There were so many questions, and I felt like Brittany and I worked so hard to get to where we are today, and I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed.
We're still very excited for you guys to see what we have coming in the future. We have so many amazing things coming up. Of course, watch House of Villains. I hope that Jax is not too much of a villain on there. I have not seen it, so all I know is what Jax has told me. I don't know anything other than that you guys know. So
I definitely felt out of place compared to some of the villains on that show. There's people on that show that are a lot more villainous than I am. And I didn't know. To
Which
be
is
honest,
shocking.
I think I knew maybe one or two people on the show because again, I don't watch reality shows, especially contestant type reality shows. I don't really know much
until
about
Mom came here, and now we're all in.
Now we're all into these contestant shows. So thank you, Sherry, for getting me invested in all these shows. But no, and I met a lot of good people on the show. It was a lot of fun. But there's also some people on there that I want to freaking kill. So
I'm excited to see it myself. And we'll obviously have to have episodes where we like recap the episodes from the show. Yeah, I'll be recapping every episode. Next week, I'm going to have Johnny Bananas on. He's going to talk a little bit about it. Like I said, right now he's in Florida starting his new gym. But also, you guys can't talk too much. We can't talk too much. There's so many limits until things come out. Right, but I want him to be on the podcast so he can talk about his new endeavors and what he can talk about. He's been on he's like a real world machine. He's been on every Real World for the last 20 something years. Yeah, like insane. Yeah, he's been a serious contestant. So we'll get into that. We'll get into what he's up to, and it should be a fun time. Absolutely. I'm so excited. I can't wait for everybody to see his show. I'm excited for everything that we have coming up in the future. We have an amazing family. I know. I'm really excited. I think my sister's going to be coming in town soon. Yeah. Really excited for that. Maybe we'll have her on like we had Mom on. Yeah. That will be fun as well. I love having people from our past on so we can talk about like little stories from our childhoods and let people like really get to know us. And my sister and Brittany love to just beat me up. Oh my gosh. I love Jenny. And she always takes my side on things, so it's even better. She knows I'm right. Yeah. If you're not following my sister already, definitely give her a follow on Instagram. She's the best. She'll be here in a couple weeks, and her and Brittany will team up on me and tell embarrassing stories. For sure. Okay, one last question really fast. This is from I feel like I'm messing up people's stuff. Amalit 18. She says, what have you learned about each other since becoming parents? You want to take this one? What have you learned about since becoming parents? There's a lot. Learn about each other. So what have I learned about you? What I've learned about you is that you are definitely a hands-on father, which I absolutely adore and love about you. You have stepped up to the plate in more ways than one, and really, like, the love for him is just like so amazing and so incredible. Like, he's the best thing that's ever happened to us, of course. But I don't know. I think it like makes me love you more because I know how much that you love him. There's so much. I mean, I can go on and on. But you tell me, what have you learned about me since becoming parents? I've always known that you were going to be a great mother. Since I met Brittany, all her friends had kids, and she's always been like the favorite auntie, with all my nephews and my nieces. Everybody loves Brittany. She's just great with kids. And I knew going in, like, I don't know if you guys know this, I never wanted to get married. I never wanted kids. I never wanted pets. And now I have all that. I have a fish. I have 2 dogs. I have a home. I have a baby. I have a wife, and these are all things I thought I was never going to have. So it took for me to meet, my partner, my best friend, my wife, for me to change. So if I can change, anybody can change. And I feel like my wife has literally taught me how to be a good father, as well as my father. I kind of took a playbook. I've taken my dad's playbook. My dad worked his ass off, and to give my sister and I everything that we could possibly have. I never knew my dad and my mother's financials growing up. We didn't know that till later in life, but we grew up very well. I never went without anything I wanted. I always got, and I just want to make sure that I can do one up my dad. I want to make sure that my son has everything like I had. I want to make sure my son has a bank account. I want to make sure he gets good education. I want to make sure he's a nice kid. He's friendly. He's kind. He's caring. Yeah. He loves everybody. Of course. And I feel like my role is just to give him the tools to succeed in life. And my role is to make him a good person, to make him a far better person than I am, and just to make him as good and as loving as my wife. So if I can do all that, I will be, happy as a clam. So what have you learned about me becoming a parent? Did we not get into that yet? You didn't even answer the question. Oh, I'm sorry. But everything you said was so sweet, of course. Like, we're so lucky. I just, like I said, I've always known you were going to be a good mother. There was no doubt in my mind. It was just like, that's why I was like, okay, when you wanted to have kids, I was like, yeah, we can do this, of course. I know I'll be a good father at the time, but you were born to be a good mother. I already known that. So you care so much about our little boy. I mean, I see him in you every day. You spend so much time. You give him so much. The kid is so freaking spoiled. I don't know how we're going to do holidays or how he's going to enjoy Christmas because you buy him so much every day. Don't say that. The kid is the most spoiled kid ever. I don't think he understands how spoiled he is, but you know what? He deserves it. He loves it. He's just so perfect. And he's so perfect. I love him so much. And you're just a great, caring, loving mother. And I tell you what, like I couldn't imagine myself
ever having children with anybody else.
That's right. And baby number 2 is hopefully coming soon. Knock on wood.
I know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited for it, but again, nervous at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, time's flying. Time is flying.
You know, we said we were gonna have another one by 2, and now he's almost 2 and. He's almost
4 months, yeah.
2 and 4 months. So we're a little behind the 8 ball on that. I'm getting a little older. He needs a brother or sister. I know that, but I'm just your typical father, right? I care about the things that dads care about. Are we financially ready? Are we mentally ready? Are we physically ready? Are we going to be okay with 2 babies and diapers? Like, I just care about.
Jax is like checking the thermostat. He's like turned into that like old school dad, you know?
Like, why are the lights on? Why are the lights on?
Why are the lights on? Is the pool on? What's going on
Why is the air
here?
conditioning on? Why are the, I'm that guy. I've turned into my father, whom I love dearly, but I've turned into that guy. Like, are we going to be okay? Like, yeah, you know what? You have kids and you figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll be okay. We'll be fine. I'm just that typical dad that just worries about everything.
Yep. It's so cute, though. I love it. I love what you've turned into.
This has been
it's
a really, really
absolutely
good
amazing.
podcast.
I
Has
know.
been a really, really good podcast.
I hope you guys had so much fun. We love doing this. It's like almost like a little bit of therapy for us, getting able to talk about all this stuff and get it all out. It feels so good. And I hope that, we're all parents. We're all learning as we go. So that's something else that people need to realize. Like, we're all learning as we go.
We are.
Like, don't be hard on each other. Embrace what's going on. We love your family. Love your husband. Love your kids.
Love one another.
Do what is best for you and your family, and don't worry about what other people think, because all that matters is what you are doing in your own life, and that you are doing things the right way, and you're positive, and you're having a good time with your own family. That's what really matters.
That's
in
what
life.
really matters. And if anybody has any questions about kids or what they, you want to have kids, or what are some of the things to look for, please ask. We will make sure we answer these questions. Like I said, we are all in this together. Like Brittany said, we're here to help, and we just want to love one another. Like I said, life is freaking hard. Life is really, really hard.
And it's so short. So just have fun. Stay positive.
Help
lift each
everybody
other
out.
up.
Yeah.
Positive energy, positive vibes. That's what I think for sure. All right, guys, thank you so much. Make sure you write in for questions for next week. We love you guys. Thanks for listening to When Reality Hits with Jax and Brittany.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Yes.